Hey, this is Javon Pera. Today I want to talk about the difference between sympathy and empathy and compassion. Sympathy, empathy, compassion. And there's a difference, big difference between, because if you ever notice people when they're going through a hard time, maybe loved ones that you have, friends, family members, some of us, we have different emotions that come up. And impulses. Sometimes people want to run away from people having a hard time because you don't want to deal with it, you don't want to get stuck with it, all that kind of thing. And then also like the feelings that come along with running away from other people's bad times, like I feel guilty, maybe I should help them. And some of us always run toward it. And maybe we want the drama, we like the drama of it all. Or sometimes, there's people like Mother Teresa that always ran toward the suffering of others in order to be a blessing and help them. So here's the difference. It's important to know the distinctions so that we can know we're being helpful and not just taking on pain. Taking on pain doesn't really help anybody. So here's the difference, I think. Sympathy. So I think the base level of this is really sympathy, where you really take on the pain of others. And I think that is not, I haven't really found too many times where that's actually helpful, where you're actually miserable because other people are miserable. Now, sympathetic people, it's a beautiful thing that you are sensitive, that you can be sensitive to people's pain. But to be taking on the pain and you becoming miserable because other people are miserable, I don't believe that is actually a noble, beautiful thing. Because in my belief, we're created to be abundant and beautiful and exude love. And sometimes it takes some work to take off the layers that we have so that can happen. But that is our work. So the next thing, sympathy to empathy. Now, empathy is a wonderful place, I believe, than just sympathy, because it gives you an understanding. It's like, oh, I totally get how you feel the way you do. That makes sense. Like, man, I want to help you. I think in empathy, I want to be able to help you to be able, and it makes me feel better about myself to help you. And maybe I'm in a better place if you're in a better place. There's still that tie, but it isn't quite that bleeding heart sympathy that there's torture and mess in the world, and so you can't be happy because there's somebody somewhere that's miserable, that kind of thing. Empathy is a beautiful thing. And then we get to compassion. Compassion is man, I think this is the place where it's most effective in our life, having compassion, understanding, but also seeing like a bigger picture. Seeing that when people suffer and struggle, it's actually a great part of the process of life, of learning and growing. If I keep on planting orange seeds expecting an apple tree to grow, then I'm going to be disappointed over and over and over again. And it's not helpful for you to, after I plant the orange seed, for you to secretly dig up the orange seed and then plant an apple seed so that I can have what I want. Like, you're going to do the work for me so that I'm going to think my orange seed is going to plant and grow this apple tree. That's ridiculous. Why would you take that on and do the work for me? It would be better just for me to notice, hey, if I plant a different seed, something different is going to grow. And that's how life is. We're always planting these seeds, and these crops are always coming up. And someone that's in compassion could be with somebody that's suffering and be like, hey, I love you. Tell me what's going on. Wow, let's look at that. Wow, I am perfectly okay, and I don't need to fix you however you are. I can just be however I am, but I can still be with you without being miserable myself. And this is a great thing. Like, if someone's in the hospital, some people don't even go to see the person in the hospital, especially if let's say there's no cure, or they don't know how they're going to get better. A lot of people don't even want to go there because they don't know how to fix it. I can't go visit them. They're too bad. I don't know how to help them. Well, what they don't realize is, especially when someone's in compassion, just being there and not being alone when you're in the hospital, that's a beautiful gift to give. And there is no fixing them. It's just being there and being loving. I mean, that in itself is the most wonderful gift that I think any of us can give. So take notice as you go throughout your day, and the people around you, or even the circumstances, all this stuff causes suffering for yourself or others. And notice where you're at. Are you taking on other people's pain and suffering yourself? because of something that's happened to somebody else? Are you moving so that you can at least understand, hey, I get what's going on, and yeah, I would really like to help. I'd feel better if you felt better. Or all the way over to compassion, where you're just here to love, and people are in their process, and you're going to do the best you can to serve and love them, because that's who you are, not because you need them to be better for you to be better, but you're just a loving person. Hope that's helpful.